가나의 혼인잔치 언약이라는 기독교 다큐멘터리가 11월 극장에서 개봉을 한다고 합니다. 이 영화의 이야기는 예수님께서 공생애를 시작하면서 첫 번째로 베푸신 기적이 바로 가나의 혼인잔치에서 물을 포도주로 만드신 그 기적을 베푼 이야기가 시작이 되죠. 이 영화는 그 가나의 혼인잔치 이야기와 예수님의 재림 이야기를 찾아내는 아주 독특한 영화인데 이 시대에 굉장히 의미 있는 영화라고 할 수가 있습니다. 그래서 오늘은 이 영화를 만드신 영화 감독, 미국 분이죠. 브렌트 밀러라고 하는 감독을 화상으로 연결해서 이 영화에 대한 이야기를 좀 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 먼저 감독님의 영화 작품이 우리나라에서 개봉을 하게 된 걸 축하드리고요. 한국 크리스찬 관객들에게 인사를 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
It's so wonderful to be on the show and to be able to talk to everybody.
영화 속에서 가나의 혼인잔치와 예수님의 재림이 아주 밀접한 관계가 있다 이런 식으로 설명을 했는데 아직 영화를 보지 못한 분들을 위해서 도대체 가나의 혼인잔치와 예수님의 재림에 어떤 관계가 있는지 몇 가지만 좀 얘기를 해 주실 수 있겠습니까?
The film addresses a very big problem happening in the world right now, in that in Christianity, fewer and fewer people are believing that Jesus is going to return. And also fewer people believe in the event of the rapture. So this film reveals new evidence from the time of Christ that proves that the rapture is a real event and that Jesus is coming back.
보통 예수님과 관련된 영화다 그러면은 예수님께서 베들레헴에서 탄생하시고 또 예수님께서 사역하시고 그리고 골고다 언덕에서 이제 운명하시고 보통 이런 이야기를 다루지 예수님이 다시 오시는 거에 대한 이야기, 휴거에 관한 얘기 이런 주제를 영화로 다루는 사람들은 별로 없거든요. 근데 감독님께서 특이하게 이렇게 예수님의 재림과 휴거와 관련된 다큐멘터리를 만들어야 되겠다라고 마음을 먹게 된 동기가 있습니까?
We do a lot of Bible prophecy research because I believe that prophecy is one of the major things in the Bible that prove that God is God and separates the Bible from all the religions in the world. And we know statistically that worldwide, the Christian church is no longer talking about prophecy. So fewer and fewer people believe that Jesus is coming back. They're losing that hope in his return. Now, the reason why that this is a problem, and the film was produced to just reignite that discussion within the church that he is coming back. The reason why it's a problem is because what I like to say is that you can't remove prophecy from the Bible without also removing the return of Christ. And so if you don't have that prophecy knowledge or churches teaching why Christ has to come back at the end of days, then fewer and fewer people have the hope of his return in these last days. And it leads to a lot of problems in the church.
예수님의 재림과 또 휴거 이런 부분을 이야기하는 것은 결국은 이제 마지막 때 엔타임에 대해서 이야기하는 것인데 미국 기독교의 분위기 속에서 이런 이야기하는 거 어떻게 받아들입니까?
Normally, it's just like in the rest of the world. Here in the United States, this is an issue that most churches no longer talk about. And so this film has reignited this discussion within the church. And the response has been amazing. It's been seen by millions of people here in the United States. And has been the #1 selling documentary in America this year in 2020. Because the way that we present the evidence not only speaks to the Christian in the church, but also speaks to those that don't believe in the Bible. So it has created a lot of new discussion about how and why the rapture will occur at the end of days.
감독님의 그런 그 예수님의 재림과 마지막 때에 대한 그 관심 이런 내용들을 결국은 이제 다큐멘터리 영화로 만들어야 되겠다 이런 생각을 하시고 형식이 다큐멘터리다 보니까 인터뷰들이 여러 명이 등장해야 되는데 인터뷰해 주셨던 신학자들 어떻게 섭외를 하셨습니까?
The interviewers we have in the movie are actually very famous. They're known for being experts in the Bible and in Bible prophecy. Many of them have national radio shows or TV shows here in the United States. They were some of the best experts that we could go to discuss some of this new evidence and to discuss the rapture and the return of Christ, where they have the knowledge and the expertise to really make this so that audiences can understand the evidence.
근데 특이하게도 이 다큐멘터리 영화에는 교수님이나 신학자들의 인터뷰만 나오는 게 아니라 이제 중간중간에 드라마 형식의 장면들이 나옵니다. 예수님도 나오고 또 여러 그 이스라엘 백성들도 나오고 그러는데 제작 형식이 먼저 그 인터뷰를 쭉 한 다음에 거기에 맞는 드라마 내용을 촬영하신 겁니까? 아니면 드라마를 먼저 찍고 거기에 맞게 인터뷰를 진행하신 겁니까?
We actually filmed the wedding scene first on a film set in Hollywood, in Southern California. We had been working with many of these experts beforehand, so we knew the evidence and we knew how to present some of these amazing new discoveries in a way that would interest audiences and really change their lives, really affect them personally.
그러니까 그 영화의 그 드라마 장면이 전부 다 이스라엘에서 찍은 게 아니라 미국 할리우드에서 찍은 거군요.
Correct. Our film crew, many of us, Hollywood.
그리고 이 다큐멘터리 영화의 이 내레이터를 미국의 아주 유명한 배우 케빈 소르보라는 배우가 했어요. 그 영화 배우는 어떻게 섭외를 하셨습니까?
Kevin Sorbo is very famous. He, in the 1990s, he did a TV show called Hercules, which was one of the most watched shows in the world at the time. And he's been in some other hit films like God's Not Dead, that he starred in that movie too. Christianity being attacked worldwide more and more as each year goes on. Kevin Sorbo's acting career he's wanted to focus more on Christian films because he is a Christian himself. Hollywood, being mostly against Christianity, has been causing a lot of difficulties for these famous Christian actors to actually get new work in these films out there. So, as a Christian docudrama that we were producing, we actually just reached out to Kevin Sorbo directly and talked to him about some of the evidence and the story that we were going to be producing. And he immediately wanted to be involved and said, yes, he wanted to be involved and narrate the production because it was something that he felt was very important for the entire church to see, not just in the United States, but in the entire world.
워낙 유명하신 분이니까 출연료도 만만치 않았을 것 같고 또 헐리우드에서 그 세트 만들고 의상 빌리고 여러 명의 스태프들과 이렇게 찍다 보면은 제작비도 꽤 많이 들었을 것 같은데 얘기해 주실 수 있겠습니까? 제작비가 어느 정도 들었고 그 돈은 후원인지 아니면은 펀드인지 아니면은 감독님의 개인 재산으로 그렇게 영화를 만드신 건지 제작비 조달은 어떻게 하셨습니까?
Well, Ingenuity Films has a lot of direct financing internally. So we didn't need to reach out to any investors for the production of Before the Wrath. In fact, because we know we've streamlined the production process here in California with a small, efficient crew, the entire film was produced for less than $1 million, which is very good. We didn't go outside for any funding at all. It was just funded internally only from Ingenuity Films. Some of that funding actually came from a previous film that we produced, which was also a #1 hit in the United States called The Coming Convergence.
1밀리언이면 한 12억 정도 되는데 그렇게 돈을 들여서 제작비를 들여서 영화를 만들었는데 하필이면 이 코로나 바이러스 때문에 극장 개봉을 할 수 없는 그런 상황. 미국도 역시 마찬가지일 텐데 그래서 결국은 이제 미국에서 영화 영화를 극장 개봉 못하고 온라인으로 상영을 했다고 합니다. 영화를 보신 분들의 소감, 반응 어떻습니까?
I would say shock. And I mean that this is information that Christians don't know about. And it's all in the Bible. And and those Jesus's disciples in the first century understood a lot of this, but we have forgotten this knowledge over the last 2,000 years. And so we're only now rediscovering some of these cultural understandings behind the rapture and why Jesus has to come back. And yet most of the church has never heard of this evidence. Pastors don't know it, not only here, but worldwide. And so our Christian audiences who are watching this film for the first time, a lot of crying, a lot of joy, just shock in the evidence they're seeing and hearing, and as a result, they're sharing it with friends and family, and it's just been spreading worldwide at a very fast rate.
저도 다큐멘터리 영화를 이렇게 만드는 과정에서 이건 정말 내가 하고 싶어서 하는 일이 아니라 정말로 하나님께서 이 영화를 직접 만들고 계시는구나, 이런 경험을 한 적이 많이 있습니다. 우리 브렌트 감독님께서도 이번에 영화를 만들면서 하나님께서 정말로 이 영화를 만들기를 원하시는구나, 이런 것들을 느낄 만한 그런 경험들이 있으신지요?
Absolutely, yes. We always go to God in prayer every morning before work begins, whether it's on set or in post-production in the office, where we want His will to be done, not ours. So the films that we select to do, we always pray to God, what does He want us to do or us to produce? So we felt that the Lord was laying it on our heart very strongly to present this message, present this evidence, and that it would be very important to the church in the whole world. And at first, we didn't know if people were even going to be interested in watching a movie about the rapture and about the return of Jesus, because it's being spoken so little about in churches everywhere. What's interesting is also how God released the film in His perfect timing. See, Before the Wrath was supposed to come out about a year before it actually did. But we had a lot of problems, one right after the other, in post-production that kept delaying the film. We had a couple people pass away that were very important to key employees on the post-production team, public relation issues with people that were against the Bible, that didn't want this film to come out. And so there was a lot of problems that kept delaying the release of the movie. And so when it finally came out here in the United States, it was at the beginning of the COVID lockdown. And we were one of the last major films to be released at major retail and online on digital. And Hollywood delayed or canceled the release of their films. So Before the Wrath stayed on the new release lists on a lot of the digital streamers out there. And as a result, it was trending as one of the top films in America.
하나님께서는 왜 지금 이때, 이 시기에 우리 브렌트 감독님을 통해서 예수님의 다시 오심, 가나의 혼인잔치를 통해서 예수님의 다시 오심을 우리가 생각해 보게 하는 이런 다큐멘터리 영화를 만들게 하셨을까요?
I actually believe it's because time is short. If you see everything happening in the world, not just with COVID, but politically, how Christianity, how the church is decreasing in foundational Bible beliefs, and just what's happening around the world, where fewer and fewer people believe that not only Jesus is coming back, but believe in the Bible in general. That I think that it's just another. I mean, the movie is an amazing message of hope and joy, but it's also a warning. It's a very serious warning to the church and a warning to those that don't believe that Jesus is coming back at all. And I believe that with everything happening right now in the world, time is very short until we see the rapture and a lot of very terrible things in the tribulation period that are coming upon this earth. So I believe it's just one of those final warnings to the world to have the church wake up and refocus on the fact that, so I think right now, especially with the chaos in the world, that people are open to hearing this message for the first time that they have been in maybe generations.
개인적인 질문을 좀 드려볼게요. 브렌트 감독님은 언제 예수님을 영접하고 또 기독교 신앙을 갖기 시작했습니까?
I worked for a very large TV network in New York City. I lived in Manhattan in my early 20s. And I was 2 blocks away in southern Manhattan on the terrorist attacks of 9/11 in New York when the first plane hit. I was right there and I saw it with my own eyes. And I was not a believer. I was not a Christian at the time. And so upon witnessing that event, that's what sparked my interest in looking into other religions and realizing how fragile life is, that I need to start looking at answering the big questions in life. What happens when you die? Things like that. And it was through studying proof that the Bible is real, evidence, that I was led to Christ and received him as my Savior and became a Christian. And so my experience with coming to Christ was really through what we call apologetics, through studying evidence and history and proof that you can prove the Bible is real. And I wanted to be able to tell millions of others what I discovered through evidence and proof. So it was through that experience I became a Christian. And now as a Christian, I want to evangelize and tell other people that they too can absolutely know without any doubt that the Bible is real and that Jesus is coming back.
예수를 믿는 거는 좋은데 기독교 다큐멘터리 영화 감독으로 살아가는 거 쉬운 일은 아니지 않습니까?
Yes, it is very difficult. We receive a lot of resistance and a lot of hatred from people that do not want to see films about the Bible coming out in theaters or to be as successful as some of them are here in the US and even overseas. But the reason why we do what we do is because, again, it's the Great Commission. We are commanded to go out and make disciples of other nations. And so we want others to be led to the Lord and to know the truth. And the world is very deceptive. It teaches a lot of lies through the media. And so what we're trying to do is combat those lies, combat that misinformation about the Bible so that others can be free and feel the joy from receiving Jesus Christ like I have felt the joy.
저도 사람들한테 이런 질문 듣는 거 별로 좋아하지 않는데 또 우리 감독님한테 여쭤보겠습니다. 혹시 다음 작품 준비하고 있는 게 있습니까?
Yes, absolutely. We're in pre-production right now on a new film called Eating with the Enemy. And it's a perfect follow-up to the film Before the Wrath. Everybody who has watched Before the Wrath will want to watch Eating with the Enemy. It actually is a film that follows Judas through Jesus's ministry through the Last Supper and to his suicide. And it's going to be a very serious look and a warning to the church about, like Judas, what it means to simply go through the motions of following Christ without actually receiving Christ, meaning people that are following Christ because they're trying to get something out of it worldly. And they're missing the point that they have to receive Christ in their heart. And so Judas is a very serious warning to the church. It's going to be, again, a wake-up call to the church.
지금 말씀하시는 그런 내용의 영화도 굉장히 흥미로운데 그 영화가 또 제작되려면은 이번 영화 가나의 혼인잔치 언약 이 영화가 또 잘 돼야 되지 않겠습니까? 한국에서 이 영화를 보는 우리 한국 기독교인 관객들에게 다른 건 다 잊어도 좋은데 이 영화에서 이 장면만큼은 또는 이런 대사만큼은 꼭 잊지 말았으면 좋겠다라고 하는 것이 있으면 얘기해 주시겠습니까?
There are so many amazing, powerful scenes in this film. But I would say that probably the one that is the most impactful is the scene with the cup of wine. In the Last Supper, you might remember that Jesus handed a cup of wine to his disciples when he created a new covenant with them, and they received the wine and passed it back to Christ. Now, the reason why this was so amazing is because in the first century Galilean wedding, when a husband and wife would become married, they would hand the bride a cup of wine, and it was her choice whether to accept it or to reject it and push it away. If she pushed it away, she was rejecting the groom. If she accepted it, then she was accepting the groom, and they would complete their covenant, their marriage. And so his disciples related the famous communion scene where they received the cup of wine to their own weddings. And I think understanding that correlation is very emotional and powerful, because the Bible refers to the church as the bride of Christ. And so, and also in Revelation, at the end of days, it speaks of the marriage supper of the Lamb, which also represents the wedding feast that they would have in the first supper. What the film does is actually not only presenting a story where we can understand why Jesus is coming back for us, why this has to happen, but it also fully shows God's love for us in a way that I think it just shows why he wants to come back for us at the end of days in a way that churches just don't explain.
예수님께서 다시 오시겠다고 하셨던 그 약속 곧 이루어질 것 같습니까?
I don't know when, but I know that it is soon. We need to be ready. And this also parallels evidence that we found in the first century that's in the film. After the cup of wine scene in a first century wedding, the bride and the groom would have to go away. Just like when Jesus said that I leave to prepare a place for you, that's what the groom would do after that betrothal, after they received the cup of wine. The groom would leave and build a room onto his father's house for them to live in. And they still do this today in many parts of the Middle East, in multi-generational homes. And so the bride and the groom did not know the day or the hour that they would be able to be together again. And that also parallels the Bible when Jesus says of the day that he comes back for his bride, the bride of Christ. Nobody knows the day or the hour, only the Father in heaven. That's how they would do their weddings in ancient Israel. So the parallels are absolutely phenomenal, and they understood that in the first century.
감독님께서 만든 가나의 혼인잔치 언약, 이 기독교 다큐멘터리가 이제 우리나라에서 개봉이 되는데 한국의 많은 크리스천들이 이 영화를 보고 정말로 주님께서 다시 오시겠다고 하셨던 그 말씀 잊지 않고 살아가는 우리 관객들이 되었으면 좋겠습니다. 가나의 혼인잔치 언약, 곧 이제 우리나라 극장에서 개봉을 한다고 합니다. 저도 다큐멘터리 영화 감독이기 때문에 아주 매서운 눈으로 영화를 봤는데 아주 잘 만들었고요. 굉장히 중요한 메시지가 담겨 있습니다. 제가 아무 영화나 여러분들께 이렇게 소개하지를 않습니다. 그러니까 여러분들 지금 뭐 코로나 바이러스 때문에 영화 가기가 이렇게 쉽지는 않겠죠. 그러나 전 며칠 전에 극장에 갔는데 한 절반 이상 정도는 극장 안에 들어갈 수 있도록 그런 식으로 한 칸마다 앉을 수 있도록 그렇게 안내를 하더라고요. 이 기독교 다큐멘터리 영화, 물론 미국 감독이 만든 영화이긴 하지만 우리 한국 관객들이 좀 많이 봐주셔야 또 다음 작품 기대되지 않습니까? 그 작품을 또 만들 수 있을 것 같습니다. 여러분들께 이 가나의 혼인잔치 언약 꼭 보실 것을 추천드리고요. 저도 다시 한번 극장에 가서 보려고 합니다. 오늘 인터뷰 주셔서 고맙습니다. Thank you, 브렌트 밀러.
Thank you so much.